You post on social that this is like the most Apple camera that could possibly be made.
Totally. Okay.
I think more like Johnny Ive, though, you know?
For sure. Yeah, Johnny Ive days Apple would have made a camera like this. If you told them to make a camera, it for sure would have had no memory card slot. Only internal memory.
All right, want to talk about some Sigma stuff?
I want to talk about
the
grind set.
The Sigma boyfriend.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the Sigma camera.
Yeah, let's do it.
Sick. Okay, Sigma announces BF camera. This thing looks sick. And I'm choosing my words wisely. It looks sick. It also looks like it feels great. So if you get to look at the images,
can you describe it?
Yeah, you'll see that it is essentially a unibody aluminum, like mirrorless camera-sized body, but with a full-frame 35mm sensor inside. Mm-hmm. Sigma's lens mount on it.
Well, it's L mount.
L mount, sorry.
Which they have an alliance with.
But also, the buttons are all metal, and the jog wheel is metal and textured, and the front of the body of the camera is half knurled and half clean matte. It's so sick. There's a black one and a white one. I want this to be a good camera so that I can use such a beautiful camera. It looks incredible.
Sigma is
beautiful.
Very well known for making really freaking weird cameras.
And lenses, to be honest. I've long appreciated Sigma's sometimes ability, sometimes persistence at making weird cameras. They are the only ones that make a wide-angle zoom, like the 18-35 and the 24-35 that I use. Yeah. So shout out to them. They also randomly, I think, approached me with like, yeah, we also have like a 9mm f1.8. So just crazy lenses.
Yeah.
That, I appreciate. They're the only ones that make them.
You post on social that this is like the most Apple camera that could possibly be made.
Totally. Okay.
I think more like Johnny Ive, though, you know?
For sure. Yeah, Johnny Ive days Apple would have made a camera like this. If you told them to make a camera, it for sure would have had no memory card slot. Only internal memory. Now, look, I like internal memory. The Hasselblad has internal memory. But to also not have a card slot is an extra step that they didn't have to take.
Yeah.
So this has like 230 gigs of built-in memory.
I mean, with this like unibody metal, aluminum, putting a SD card slot in there would one, take away from the design, and two, probably cost so much more.
They have a swappable battery. Like the battery does come
it could go in the battery spot.
But it doesn't like close. It's not like a door. It just like pops out of the bottom. So it becomes unibody. It becomes flush with the body.
Like the Hasselblad?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just like the XT.
Can't believe I'm going to say this, but I actually approve of this, of not having a memory card.
So would you rather have had like external storage, like larger storage option versions of the camera?
I think this is enough.
230 gigs?
230 gigs is like thousands of raw photos.
This camera shoots 6K video.
Yeah, if you're doing video,
2.5
then you
hours.
have a problem. But I don't know if this is necessary. Like this, people aren't using this to vlog, you know?
It is also HEVC video.
Yeah, it's compressed and highly.
2.5 hours of video, it says.
Yeah. You don't think that's enough? Your longest A rolls are like an hour.
Yeah, but that's A roll. Like if I'm running around and I already have 100 gigs of stuff and I haven't dumped it yet, and I go out to another thing I want to shoot, now I'm thinking like, oh, I haven't dumped the other stuff, but I don't want to shoot too much now because then I might not have enough for later. Like I actually have to think about it.
I have something that I need to disclose. I have a 1 terabyte SD card that I've been using for about 5 years, and I have never wiped this card. So
my point exactly.
Look,
that's a terabyte. That's 4 times as much as
which is why I'm saying I don't like the Hasselblad has a terabyte of built-in memory.
That's awesome.
Flash storage is really cheap.
Yeah,
they should have done 500.
Exactly.
Agreed.
I will never say no to more, but I think 256 is more than enough.
Here,
that is my argument.
It's 230.
230. Okay, more than enough.
Because the OS is on it, that's why.
I feel like
I don't know, man.
For people that are content creators, like you're going out and you're shooting multiple events, I could see your argument, Marques.
Yeah.
But this is for people who buy Leicas and just go shooting on the weekends.
Yeah, I was talking to Ellis in the car on the way in. This is kind of like the affordable version of a Leica because the whole thing is about the experience, the build quality, the fact that it's a single piece of aluminum, has no tilt screen. The Leica's the same way. It's just a single LCD. The thing that really kind of kills this for me is that there's no viewfinder, and it's just the screen.
Yeah.
The fact that it doesn't tilt, it's an LCD. I don't know how bright it gets, so like out in the middle of the day might suck.
It might.
It's 24 megapixels, which I do approve of.
Wait, before we get too far,
Yeah.
can I just talk about the SD card thing?
Oh, yeah.
I feel like we've gone so far.
Sorry.
I was talking to Vin about it, and I think we came down to the biggest issue with it is if something happens with your storage, now it's sending it in to get fixed, versus if something happens with your SD card,
That's why
you
it's
have
so
a new SD
Apple.
card.
It's so Apple.
I think that's what like makes me the most upset about it.
Do you remember the flip cam? The thing that I
yeah.
don't
Yeah, the
never
flip
stop
video.
talking
I
about?
love the flips.
Do you remember
Yeah.
how you remember how you got the videos off that thing?
Plugged it in.
Yeah, it had like the switchblade USB port.
Yeah, that was epic. Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Dave. Go back.
Sure.
And no one ever complained about that.
Yes, they did. Are you kidding me?
No. I can't hear you.
I also think like this thing has a sub bezel on the screen.
Yeah, it does.
It's got a giant, it's a screen encased in the body, which is not flush. And then there's a sub bezel.
They try to hide it in the renders.
I like the one corner. You can tell the other ones are dark enough.
Yeah,
too.
I'm surprised they even show that.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, here's the thing about it.
So pretty.
It's called the Sigma BF. You might think that stands for boyfriend. No.
Sigma B.
BF stands for beautiful foolishness.
Does it really?
Yes, it does. So
Wow,
they are,
that's
I
accurate.
love that.
That is really
they are
good.
basically admitting that this is a ridiculous camera,
but beautiful.
but it's beautiful.
Damn, Sigma.
So it has like a lot of things about it that are like impractical, but
Damn, Sigma.
yeah.
Is that really
that's
what it
good.
means?
It is really what it means. Yeah.
I believe it instantly. It has 2-hour battery life. It has a nice metal shutter
Oh
button.
yeah.
I came in here the other day when it was announced saying that I was like super obsessed with this and wanted to buy it. And then I thought about it. And I think a lot of people are going to go through the same process where you start to realize the important things that you need in a camera that this does not have.
Yeah.
Like, I think a flip out screen is like,
Yeah.
why does this not have that? I need that. That's not even a nice to have.
Dude,
At this point, that's like an
flush,
I need that.
It's hard to
Yeah.
shoot with. And especially when you don't have a viewfinder, it's just so. Even the Leicas at least have an OVF,
Yeah.
an optical viewfinder.
It feels like if Apple made a camera like this, they would make similar sets of concessions of things that seem like you have to have, but then they would try to engineer their way out the other side of like, it's the brightest screen ever in a camera or something like that. We have a A18 chip so that you have zero latency between sensor feed and viewfinder camera. Like they would try to engineer their way out of it, but they would totally be like, yeah, also there's no viewfinder.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, this camera, it needs a viewfinder.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's why I thought it looked like an Apple camera.
Also, the UX looks kind of bad. Sebastian DeWitt, who makes Halide, had mentioned that this is the reason he got into UX design in the first place and app design is because companies make like an absolutely beautiful piece of hardware and then the software is terrible, just like cars. So
Damn,
yeah,
that's true.
we also didn't mention it has a status monitor right above the jog wheel, which is basically a little micro LCD screen that shows you like aperture and stuff like that.
It's beautiful.
It looks cool. I love that there's like a very small amount of buttons. The lenses they now also make in silver to make
so
it
good.
work, with the camera. Yeah, I think it's going to be for people who like want something really pretty that is better than their phone. It's $2,000, which is not unheard of.
Yeah, I looked at the B&H pre-order listing and saw $2,000, and I was like, I think I expected higher,
Yeah.
actually. I thought, I've never shot with a Sigma mirrorless camera, so I feel like I was thinking about Sony A7 type of range when I saw full frame.
Yeah.
And $2,000 is not insane.
The other thing about this is that people were hoping that it would have a foveon sensor. And what a foveon sensor is a sensor that has all 3 color filters on each pixel. So instead of having to do demosaicing, where you like do this process to actually show the color, every single pixel gets all the color. So it looks a lot better. It's like sharper and
It's like 3, it would be much sharper.
they're much harder to make. And they used to make them. They stopped making them after a while, but unfortunately, it does not have a foveon sensor. So
If that was a trivia question, sorry.
It was not.
I
But I do want to say, every time I look at the BF, I can't stop thinking about it. Like, the feature set is not that far off from my EOS M. Like, obviously, this is a dramatically better camera. But at the same time, the EOS M is 18 megapixels, so I'm only missing 6 of them. I don't have a full frame sensor. I have an APS-C sensor.
Yeah.
But other than that, same viewfinder status.
Around the same size.
It's around the same amount of memory.
EOS M has expandable storage.
Bingo.
Oh,
So-
that's good.
And get this. With Magic Lantern, I can shoot raw video on the
true.
EOS M.
That's
So
true.
Feels
checkmate,
like
Sigma.
the Android of cameras. This is great.
Who's the Sigma now?
They are.
On that note,
Hey, thanks for watching this clip. That Sigma camera came out, and we are lucky to have David here, who knows all about cameras, to talk about it. Before I tell you to like and subscribe, I figured I'd introduce you to a little thing that I don't think many Waveform listeners actually know about, which is that I am not wearing shoes. I wear slippers.
Careful, Alice.
To
It's a
the
slippery
podcast.
slope. And by that, I mean because you'd slip around on your slippers.
So before I slip around in my slippery slippers, you should like,
Subscribe.
comment, subscribe, and watch another clip. Bye-bye.